making noise. Sorry.
That's okay. That's the point of a podcast, is to make noise.
I meant with my notepad.
Otherwise, you're just going to have silence. What do you do, Sara Fakih?
I teach yoga, dance and fitness, even though I'm not really teaching much dance at the moment.
Don't tell them that.
Sorry.
Start again.
Motherfuckers.
We'll keep that in. Okay, so you teach yoga.
Yes.
You should tell us about your yoga journey.
Okay. My yoga journey started off with me doing Bikram yoga years ago when I was I am. I'm a personal trainer, but I was predominantly just doing that, and I was just PTing, and then I was occasionally teaching the odd Zumba class. This is like right at the start of my journey. Really got into Bikram. It was really good. I got a bit obsessed. I think anyone that starts Bikram gets a bit obsessed, probably because they start most of the studios start off with the £30, 30 days unlimited.
Yeah.
So you end up going to a ridiculous amount of classes for 30 days because you're trying to get your money's worth.
It's so true.
And then everyone usually drops off after that.
That was their 30-day yoga journey.
Exactly. A 30-day Bikram journey. I actually carried on going here and there, and I got really obsessed with going like really early in the morning. I don't know how I used to do it because I can't do that now.
Old age.
I think it is. And then I used to train in the gym and then go and do my clients. So not every single day. I used to go to yoga, I think like twice a week. Then I think I started...
You don't know how you used to get up early twice a week. I don't know how I used to do it.
Well, I used to get up early, but that was like stupid. It was like 6 a.m. class.
Okay.
So you can imagine the time that you've got to get up to get there. It's not like you're just waking up at 6. And then I really dropped off.
Was there a reason? Did you connect with that?
The Bikram for me was just physical. There was no spiritual connection with that. I don't know whether it was the teachers at the time or it was the style. Spiritually, I had no connection. It was just physical. I felt great. I felt like I was... I mean, obviously yoga does help to detox you, but I felt like that. I felt fresh. I felt like I was kind of detoxing my body twice a week. But I never really did it for my mind back then. It wasn't very spiritual, and with Bikram it's not much about the breath because it's so hot in the class. I have to say it's physical practice. It's a very physical practice. They don't really talk to you much about the breath, and you don't flow in Bikram. They're just poses. They're 25 poses, set amount of poses. So that's what I mean. It's just really physical. And then I started to get into yoga a little bit later on, just doing it once in a while. But again, I never really found and connected with a decent... Okay, that's probably the wrong way to put it. I can't say decent. I was going to say decent teacher, but that's... Well, for me, maybe I should just say it, a decent teacher that I felt I connected with and that made a difference. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I know.
Because ultimately, even whether you're looking for a yoga teacher or a PT, you're looking for a connection.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Or just as a person in general.
Then, ironically, I got signed up to, when I was teaching for Gymbox, I still am, but just not as much as I used to, I got signed up to do beauty yoga. And I was like, what the hell is this? And they were coming over from the States. My friend Michelle was head of creative for Gymbox, and she heard of beauty yoga, got them to come over and do a course. No idea what I was like setting myself up for. They said that your prerequisite, you don't necessarily have to be a yoga teacher to do that course. You need to have a knowledge of a vinyasa class, and I've been to a couple, I've been to a few. I mean, Bikram's not vinyasa, but I'd been to a couple of vinyasa classes. Like I said, never really connected. And signed up. It was just a weekend. And I remember the first masterclass, I was like, what the hell is this? This is like amazing. Because it was a combination of yoga, fitness, and dance, which is everything that I love. And it wasn't a lot of dance in terms of choreography, and you're learning a choreography or anything like that. It's just the movement, which in a little bit, you know, you say, for instance, Zumba's not really choreo, even though you probably is more choreographed. Yeah, that's the one. Choreographed. How will you say graft?
Yeah,
graft.
Yeah. There's the
choreographed. It's just more movement. It's more connecting to primal movement, and then you connect to tribal dance movement. And I fell in love with it straight away. And then the next day was all about demos. I actually remember that. I actually pooed my pants.
Literally?
Yeah. Near enough.
How many times have you done that in your life?
Never.
Never?
No. Have you?
As a baby, yeah.
Oh.
All the time.
Doesn't count. Different stage in your life. You're a baby stage, not adult.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't as an adult, but who's to say I never will? I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Happen.
You never know. All it takes is maybe a bit of food poisoning. Anyway, why are we veering off to food poisoning and
you said you
shitting
pooed your
ourselves?
pants. And I asked literally. And then I just thought it might be good to just entertain, in case anyone was slightly like...
Oh my God. Okay, so going back,
sorry.
Sunday, demo day, I actually...
You pooed your pants?
Pooed my pants, yeah. I had to do a short demo of a flow, tribal dance and the fitness. Now for me, because I wasn't practicing loads and loads of yoga, the yoga part was the hardest bit for me, ironically. The tribal dance movement was like the easiest, and then throwing in some plyometrics was, again, no brainer. It's what I do every day with my clients. I remember at that point, God, I was teaching Insanity. Do you remember that?
But it was hard because we'd do that and then go straight to booty.
Oh my God, yes! What a crazy
like
double!
Like a Monday or something.
That's when I did that 4 years ago. I started teaching that at Gymbox, and then I wanted to further my learning, my knowledge with yoga. Because especially when I was teaching booty, I felt that I needed to learn more in terms of my yoga practice. Funnily enough, I did a lot of research when I was looking for a course. Found there was a really strong practice called Rocket. I was trying my hardest to get to a class because I had heard so many good things about it. And because I was teaching so much, I never actually got to do a practice in London. But doing my research, people that I knew that taught in Gymbox, some of the best teachers came from this teacher training that I was researching. And it just, again, ironically fell. It kind of fell in, well, I don't want to say fell into my lap, but the schedule worked, shall I say, with my schedule. Because it was, I think, March time, and that was the only time, because I wanted to go just after Christmas. And it just worked. It just worked really well, and I wanted to go away and do it, and it was, I think it was 8 weeks. Was it 8 weeks? It was a month. It was 8 weeks.
It was you was away a while.
No, it was 4 weeks, not 8 weeks. I don't know why I'm trying to exaggerate here. I was exaggerating.
Just for dramatic effect.
I know. Definitely wasn't 8 weeks. It was a
18
month.
years.
It was a month in Goa, 200 hours with the yoga people. I booked it, and then I remember speaking to more and more people, and then that's what really confirmed that, yeah, I've gone with the right teachers. So I literally booked it, I think, in January,
Yeah.
And then I went in March.
Because it was near your birthday, wasn't it?
It was.
You went, or did you go on your birthday?
I went on my birthday.
Yeah, I
flew
remember
on my
you
birthday
going.
because I remember I had a bit of a party when I was out there.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's got to be done on birthdays.
A
yoga party.
Yoga party. Yeah.
Let's all do some headstands.
And it was the best experience I've had in my life. I would have. It was funny actually. I would have done the Booty Yoga 200 hours, but they didn't have any immersions, as they call them. The states they called it. It's just intense. Yeah. It's intense. You get it like every day. You get it done. Rather than doing weekends. For example, they've got the yoga teacher training. The yoga people are doing a training at the moment in London, but they're doing them every weekend.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I couldn't do that because in the States that's a bit expensive for me to fly over every weekend for like how many months.
Yeah, of course.
Aren't
you doing an event with the yoga people here?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Oh, this Wednesday?
Yeah, coming.
Might be a little bit too.
Yeah,
might have already gone by the time we put it out.
Oh yeah.
But just in case.
I definitely
when
would
is
have.
it? Where?
Well, it's fully booked as well. Anyway.
Well, you can't go anyway, people. So unlucky.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday, and I was completely in awe when I got asked to do that as well.
Well, you've been out there. You've been out there since. Obviously, it's on YouTube. Is that your second yoga training? Third yoga training with them.
My third. Yeah, that was my third.
That was a very cool video. Kind of showed. I know it didn't show everything because you didn't get it all, but it gave a good example
an example of what we did. I mean, that wasn't obviously my 200 hours. If I had documented my 200 hours, that would have been really interesting. But I don't think I would have been able to document it because you were so not in the right headspace when you were there. You were so up and down.
Also, not everything is for.
Got sick. No, you couldn't. There's no way because you're going through a very transformative time. So I got sick for 3 days. Felt like I was literally dying. I was crying every 5 minutes. Why is that?
Like, what caused this?
I don't know whether it was a mixture of the fact there was a lot of bacteria in the water anyway, so you always end up getting a deli belly.
Right.
But I also think there's a lot of energetical shifts that happen when you're practicing yoga every single day. Very intense. You're exhausted, and you've got to remember when you're physically exhausted, your body doesn't know whether it's just a physical exhaustion. So everything, you're emotionally exhausted, everything, you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
So then you're talking about, we're doing chakra diagnostics in terms of where we think, I don't want to go too deep into it because if I start, then I'm going to be here forever. So we're going through each chakra and why and where we think that perhaps one of our chakras maybe we're more imbalanced in. We talk about childhood, we talk about parents, we talk about relationships with our parents, because this is where most of our unbalancedness.
Yeah.
This is where most of our shit comes from. Most of our patterns, the way we think, the way we deal with stuff, our motivation, our self-belief, our self-worth, our fears, our addictions, from terms of even use of drugs, to maybe even your sexual encounters. So again, talking about your sexuality, whether you are, it's literally for everything but from one extreme to the other in every single aspect, and why
you're that way.
As adults we do end up being that way, and a lot of it is subconscious because a lot of this is formed from when we were young. And
then it's like that repetitive behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Often.
And we all do it, and we all have a repetitive pattern. I know I have a repetitive pattern. I know that I've probably sometimes stepped 10 steps backwards and then thought, what the hell? Because you see yourself falling back into this
it's interesting
state and into this pattern. Even after doing my yoga training, I've seen it happen with myself.
Normally when you're vulnerable, when you're vulnerable, that normally happens, I think.
I think when you're vulnerable, when something happens in your life that affects you, sometimes you're not even aware how much it affects you. Sometimes you are, but then you're not actually aware of you slipping back into the pattern of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Is usually when you slip down into that, because it's a pattern that, again, is, like I said, it's subconscious, and then all of a sudden you see yourself doing it, and you're like, whoa, what's going on?
It's a learned behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I said it's subconscious.
Yeah.
It's an easier step for you, but actually, even though it's an easier way to, like, route to go down, in the long run, it's not. It's actually going to be a lot more painful for you. You need to learn to cut those patterns, and then you will create a better life. But I think this is everyone's, you see some people that perhaps maybe, maybe not have had bad patterns from when they were young, and like, they can probably cut those patterns a lot easier than say another person, and maybe they're they're living their best life. I do find that, yes, I take my hat off to the people that probably have had harder patterns to cut, because that's where the challenge, I think, comes from, and that's where empathy comes from. Maybe people, I'll never take it away from people that are still doing amazingly, that have not had challenges like other people. Good for them. Like, that's amazing. That's their journey, and they're probably still inspiring and motivating other people. But it's the ones that I feel that have gone through some real shit, and then are able to cut themselves from those patterns.
Yeah, they're able to be more empathetic, I think, as well.
Or even just, to be honest, when they do slip up, because I think in this day and age there's so much pressure to be like, again, it's like this, down to this whole perfection thing, perfection in everything, the way you look, the way you in the fitness industry, how ripped you are, or again, like, how your rituals are every single day, and just being this perfect person, and that's just bullshit. No one's perfect.
Do you think social media, though, is a little bit to blame for that now?
Yes and no.
What do you think to social media?
Well, I think social media, okay, let's say media to start with, because before we had social media, it was just media.
Yeah.
So media, I think, to start with, had such an impact on that anyway. I think when it was just media, it's probably worse.
Yeah, because they choose.
So they choose what we see. So we had no choice of what we were seeing. So nowadays, we are seeing a lot more diversity. We are seeing things that will really help to inspire, to motivate, to kind of bring this awareness about mindfulness and yoga and meditation and your mind and your mindset and your breath, and how there's so many little factors that can affect your state of mind, whereas the media probably didn't really kind of focus on that.
That's
whereas
true.
Now social media, you get to follow who you want. So you see something comes up, like, oh, if that resonates with you, or something clicks, then you're going to start to follow it and want to follow more of it. But again, on the flip side, it's like a double-edged sword. Wherever there's something that's going to be good, there's going to be a dark side to it. So again, with social media, I think there's a really dark side to social media, because then you can look, everyone does it. You find yourself, and I do it now again. It's again with phones nowadays. We are so addictive to our phones that we find ourselves subconsciously going onto Instagram. Like, I post on Instagram every single day, and I'm finding now, I feel like I don't want to be posting every single day, because I'm finding I'm flicking and going through my Instagram, and then you don't realise all these visuals that you're seeing isn't necessarily always positive. So you are like, you subconsciously start to compare.
Yeah.
And then if you're, for instance, not on a good place that day, and you feel like you're lacking, you're a bit, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And then you do, because everyone is their own worst enemy, and everyone gets in their own way. But then that is a typical example. Then you start to, like, having these thoughts, and I should have done that, and then you start to, like, be too hard on yourself. And then what happens from that? Procrastination happens. I'm probably the biggest procrastinator when it comes to being too hard on myself. And that is one pattern that I have to cut. I have to really force myself to get off my phone sometimes and be like, just get on and do something. Like, stop, just, because it's like you're watching up what other people are doing, even though you're not really watching it, you're just looking, but you are watching, and then you compare.
Yeah.
You just need to sometimes just, like, see a couple of posts, that's nice, okay, and then just cut, like, put your phone away, or just, well, you were saying that the other day how you deleted your Instagram from your phone.
I do.
So you didn't...
Yeah, so, well, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of social media. I understand you need it for business, so I use it, but as soon as I've posted, I'll have a quick scroll through, and then it comes off my phone.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I've got, you stop living in the real world, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well, it's so much these days with people about numbers. How many people go, how many followers have you got? Does it really matter?
In this day and age, it does.
Like,
Apparently
and
so.
that's the thing that I don't like about it. I'm like, I don't care. To be honest.
No, I know, but that's...
I have my small circle outside of all that know, as you know, that they know what's going on. I call them. That's, for me, is real. Everything on social media seems a little bit false.
Well, a lot of it is.
And so that's why I'm not the biggest fan. I use it, and we post, we've posted like videos, fun videos and stuff. I like the fact that you can show the adventure. Yeah, but I think if you find yourself at any point going through and scrolling and comparing yourself or feeling like negative, then that's the time to take it off for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think social media can always have a negative impact on you.
Yeah.
No matter how positive even you are. And I also feel that sometimes with social media, people are not being authentic on it.
And you can see that, I think.
I try to use mine literally only for business purposes, but mostly my stories, if anything, are probably the most personal I ever get. I don't really post much on my page.
I think
that
you
is
post
personal.
Enough for what it is,
Yeah.
Because why do we live in a day and age where everybody believes that they have the right to know everything that's going on in your life? I don't know you.
No.
I don't need to tell you what
I actually don't want anyone to know everything that's going on in my life, to be fair. If anything, I post things to motivate and to inspire and to lift people up.
Yeah.
Because I know that not every day I'll post perhaps like a really, not that it's not positive, but like if it doesn't resonate with me that day, I'm not going to post a certain quote. I like to post quotes because I'd like to post a quote that resonates with me that day. And not every day is going to be like, be strong. Because that day I don't feel strong. So I feel, so it's again, I might post something about being kind to yourself and your self-talk, or I don't know, like just something. If it resonates with me that day, then I'll post it. If it doesn't resonate with me, then I can't. Something will not allow me to post it.
Well, everyone I know that follows you loves your Insta. Yours is good stuff. Like it's authentic, and that's.
Well, I think in this day and age we are lacking that. So yeah, social media is great, and it's also, again, it's like I said, double-edged sword.
Totally changing the subject then. So you're going. Hang on, so this is your ayahuasca trip then? Did I say it right?
Yes, you said it right.
It's funny because I was asking how to say it, but I've watched videos and stuff in the past about this.
On YouTube.
People going,
on your favourite app, YouTube.
My favourite app, YouTube. So, you obviously know a lot more about it than me because you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there'll be some people that don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Can you explain it and why you're doing it?
The thing is, when you take ayahuasca, it's not just one plant. It's two plants combined.
Right. How do you take it?
You drink it. It's a brew.
Okay.
So it's a brew that's been made up of two plants. One's called Capi. This is why I had to look this up. Capi, which contains several alkaloids. Another common ingredient in ayahuasca is the shrub of the Psychotria viridis, which contains the primary psychoactive compound DMT, which is what we produce when we sleep. I was going to go in a little bit of history, but the main thing is it comes from the Amazon, and it's a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies they were done in the Amazon. And they are usually, every ceremony has to be headed up by a shaman.
And what is a shaman, for those that don't
know? Anything to do with shamanism, well, it's a practice that involves a practitioner that's reaching altered states of consciousness in order to perceive and interact with what they believe to be the spirit world. They connect with nature, Mother Earth, the sky. When I've got the 4 elements. Well, there are 5 elements, but 4 elements tattooed on my leg: earth, fire, wind, air, and water. Again, they connect to the north, south, the east, the west. They say that everything, we are all one, and we need to connect to nature. And again, that's why all of this, even down to my booty yoga practice, because booty means the cure that is hidden or kept secret. We all have the cure within us, but we all can be cured from, I would say, mostly natural.
Yeah, I would agree.
Back in the day, we never really needed. Yes, we do need some drugs nowadays, of course, but I think it's just been all given out willy nilly, and people have forgotten that
makes a lot of money, doesn't it?
We're all connected to, like, usually if there's an illness, there is always a remedy for that illness somewhere. Unless it's man-made.
So how much of this do you drink? And how long is...
Okay, so let me go.
And why are you doing it?
I want to do it. You have to be ready to do it. In terms, if you're someone that will freak out easily, panics easily, you're not in that place. You should never do it. You have to be able to switch off completely, and also be very trusting. It's completely all natural. It's a natural plant, and for years it's been used. It's an ancient medicinal plant, and for years it's been used in ceremonies. It's a brown tea that's derived from kapi, which is a vine that only grows in the rainforest, which is why it comes from the Amazon.
Right.
And then it's teamed up with that other plant that I said, which has the DMT, which contains these hallucinogenic properties, which creates the ayahuasca. So when these two plants are put together,
so it's like dreaming, but while you're awake.
In a way,
because it's hallucinogenic.
Well, they call ayahuasca, it's a feminine plant, so they will call it a she, and they say that she will give you information, that the divine, infinite, the source, power, like whatever you want to call it, God, that will give you information. That it feels that you need to see, stuff that it feels that you need to work on in your life.
Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily. It might not show you stuff that you want to see. So that's why they say you can face your demons when you take ayahuasca.
So is there? I mean, obviously, it might be more personal for you to be putting on a podcast, but is there anything like? Is there a specific reason? Like, are you going to be like hope to see something, or?
I'm not hoping to see anything. I think you can't go in. You can never go into taking ayahuasca with any expectations.
You just take it and see what happens.
You can't. You can't. I think anything to do, any spiritual practice. Listen, yoga doesn't necessarily have to be. Yoga's not just the physical. It's not. It's everything. It's union.
Yeah.
Union of mind body. Union of breath and movement. Union of. To me, honestly, I would just say yoga is the connection back to yourself. That's the best way of I would interpret yoga. It doesn't necessarily have to be the physical.
Yeah.
The physical helps you gain more of that connection, and I think in this day and age, stillness is the hardest thing.
It's
for
the
people.
breath as well, I think, because like you say, I mean, especially in London, people just don't stop. I can't sit down for 2 minutes. Like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah,
but
that's
take a breather.
Busyness of the mind.
Yeah, it's on adrenaline all the time, I think.
Yeah, well, you're usually people like that are very, their adrenals are fatigued. They're probably tired.
Yeah,
they're anxious. They're stressed. They're highly strung. As soon as you try to take them, slow down a bit and have some stillness, they don't know what to do, and it freaks out because when it's like you're running away from yourself when you're constantly busy. So the stillness, you're having to look at your shit. So again, ayahuasca basically forces you to look at your shit. Yeah. And I know, as much as my practice, sometimes I feel that I should be a lot more disciplined than I am. I'm not going to lie, I feel that London doesn't help me with that because everything's always so busy all the time that you get sucked into that constantly. And then you have to break. Again, all it is awareness, I think. I'll go back to the whole thing. No one's perfect. It's you're learning how to deal with the ongoings of life. These are tools that I feel that we should have been taught from when we were young, not to find out in later years of how to actually just deal with life, deal with thoughts, emotions. Not to just suppress things and just get on with stuff, which I feel is the generation that we were brought up with.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep calm and carry on, wasn't
it? There's no emotions. No one should be crying. No one should be getting upset. Depression is a load of bullshit. And this day and age, it's now becoming apparent that depression is one of the biggest killers of all. In terms of suicide rates and everything like that. Because everyone is wanting more. Yeah. And that's why I said with social media, everyone wants more and not just being content with where they are.
And living for the moment and just enjoying the moment and not always...
And if that means you feel like you're being lazy one day, fine, be lazy. But, again, it's all balance. Don't then be lazy for the rest of the week. Like, you need to have a focus. Have something that makes you happy, but that also... is giving you more drive to do better. Yeah. Like have a goal somewhere, but don't put everything into that goal that then you reach that goal, then you're happy. That's again, when we set goals, it doesn't mean when we get to that goal and then that's now I'm done. Yeah. And now I'm gonna be happy when I get there. No. You just have to be happy now. Which I think it is very hard when you live in a city any city, any big city. Yeah. Because everything's so fast paced. Everything's go, 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 go. Well, everyone's wanting to make money. Yeah. Everyone needs to make money because everything's so expensive. And then people lose the quality of life. Because they're chasing. And I see myself do it all the time. I'm seeing ayahuasca as another little step to perhaps helping me, deal with some of these patterns that I know that I struggle to break. And I'm not seeing it as, oh my God, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be like enlightened. Yeah. You just don't know. I don't know. It might want to show me some shit that I really don't want to see, but I've done some stuff that some real deep soul searching that I've realised some shit has come up. Even my 200 hours, a lot of crap came up then. I was so hard on myself, I didn't realise how hard on myself I was. Realised I hadn't dealt with so much stuff that happened when I was young. And then when you start to deal with it, you start to then just give yourself a break. Because I think that's the problem. We don't give ourselves a break. That's so but you said, I'm not sure exactly how much you drink, but I know that it's about 5 hours and it lasts the night. Yeah. So you can't eat for a certain amount of hours before. She sent me, actually. So they say 3 days, but I would rather go with a week. No reducing your salt, sugar, so no processed food. No red meat, no spicy food, no chicken. Oh, so she said chicken and fish is okay. No caffeine or alcohol, and no sex. Yeah, it's 5 hours, but we are doing we do the ayahuasca, and then the next day we do tobacco ceremony.
Okay, what's that?
Tobacco helps you open up to the plants. It's a very sacred plant. It helps you to open up to the knowledge of all the other plants. Tobacco is actually very underestimated. Everyone knows that tobacco is what you get in cigarettes. It's one of the most powerful healing plants that there is. That's the history of why tobacco came into how smoking came in. Because back in the day, the indigenous people, the people even in the Amazon, they used to smoke tobacco, and they used to have a sacred pipe, and they used to use it as it's a plant of communication. So again, I think that when they say it's a plant of communication, it helps you to open up to other plants. If you're taking another plant, any ceremonies always had tobacco. Also, if you're camping, anywhere you go, they say you should always sprinkle tobacco wherever you are. It helps protect you. Yeah. If you do any research talking about tobacco,
because like invaders come,
any ants, kills their lungs. any insects and stuff won't go near you.
Okay.
They won't go near you like the tobacco.
And I ain't having that.
Yeah,
it's bad for me. Bad for me little ant lungs.
I'm not smoking it.
Off they go. On my little legs.
You drink it, then you drink a lot of water, and usually you purge. Connects your body.
Yeah, it doesn't
feels very clear,
like it's fun.
And it gives you clarity and strength of the mind.
I've heard some. I mean, it would be interesting. I think we've said this anyway, but to when you come back to do another podcast just on it.
It is interesting. Well, I should really say as well. You do a lot of chanting when you're there. People might be curled up in the ball, like literally, like wanting to be sick. You can get diarrhea.
Are you out of it then?
You are a bit out of it. You're
so
like
you
out of it.
You could poo your pants.
You could, yeah.
So she might poo her pants, guys.
You could.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a side effect.
See?
They're saying that you have this deep connection to to a higher intelligence.
But you have to poo your pants in order to
and
get
an understanding of one's true self. No, because I know people that have done it and they
didn't poo their pants.
They had the most amazing experience, but then there's other people that like
pooed their pants,
vomiting like crazy. I actually don't know anyone that's pooed their
Sara's
pants.
not playing.
I'm not playing.
She looked at me.
I'm not playing. But yeah, I'm going to be very interested how I feel.
I'm very interested.
It might be the worst night of my life. Well actually, we do 2 nights. Because after tobacco, we do it again.
So you go this Friday.
Go this Friday.
Yeah, and you do it on the...
Monday.
And then...
So a week today.
Okay, so when do you...
Exactly a week today, I'm going to be under the influence of ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Are you excited? Like, I imagine a bit of both. I imagine
a little bit. I mean, it's because you can't take all of that stuff before, because it helps to kind of rid your body of any toxins and impurities that you've crammed into it. That's why you can be sick.
Yeah. Wow.
And then, like I said, because you're connecting to a higher intelligence, we are more than just the physical, and it's the toxins that we put in our body that makes us disconnect from ourselves. And even though you're sometimes so aware of it, we still do it.
Yeah.
Because we live in that world sometimes when we want to numb stuff. But we have been put on this earth to feel. When we numb our feelings, we're in more of a place of
euphoria,
ecstasy, euphoria,
completely.
you know, that we don't want to then hit the lows and feel shit, which is why so many people try to numb, because they don't want to feel the bad times. But we don't. We have to embrace those bad times and just go. That's what I'm saying in terms of social media. Like let's just all be a little bit more authentic. I don't know anyone that hasn't had a shit time somewhere at some point.
Doesn't matter where.
Even when they're at the top of their game, they're the most disciplined, hardworking, You don't think they're not going to wake up one morning and just feel really crap, you know? Full moon's out.
Well, you see it all the time, like with people that seem that, you know, they've got the money, the house, the career, and then it comes out, well, we're really unhappy.
Well, I think a lot of it, when you're talking about that, a lot of people that have money, depending on how...
It depends who's around them.
Oh, it depends, number one, who's around them, how they've been brought up, how they've made the money.
Yeah. How quickly they've made the money.
Will always depend on their mental state. So sometimes people that have made a lot of money fast and then think that they're happy, all of a sudden they're not happy because then they're striving to want more and more and more and more and more. So it's being contentment. We can all link this to I'm not going to talk about it now, to the 8 limbs of yoga, and one of them is contentment, you know. We need to be content with the here and the now.
Yeah, no, completely.
My yoga journey is definitely taking, like, God, made me learn.
I just got cramp in my calf, guys. So I was talking deep, and I was trying to, like...
Sure, you've been drinking enough water.
I know, what is going on there? I've drunk loads.
She's doing some more stretching.
I need to shave my legs.
Or foam rolling. She needs to shave her legs.
I need to shave my legs and drink more water. I did train this morning, maybe that's what it is. I've drunk loads.
Did you stretch?
No, because I went straight to teach.
Oh, yeah.
It's really annoying because I was actually going to let you finish your sentence and then like smoothly transition into your retreats, but then I got cramp.
Oh, well.
And I was trying my best to not do it, and then I moved and I was like, no, can't do it. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, you can see where I got cramp.
Where you got cramp?
Yeah. We're just looking at the
graph.
The sound on the...
Sound graph.
The sound graph. Sound graph.
Sound graph.
Well, because I ruined that smooth transition.
Yep.
We've gone from cramp now to retreats.
Yes.
Because that would have been such a professional, like... Well, that's why I'm not that professional.
Well...
Pros don't get cramp, do they?
Ibiza. Ironically, I'm going to Ibiza this Friday for me time. I think Ibiza is underestimated in terms of the magic that island holds.
I think because it's pretty much renowned for
partying.
Yeah. People don't
There's a reason perhaps why people went there maybe to party. It's got a very spiritual vibe about it. I don't think it started the way it is now in terms of partying. I don't know. Maybe I should look up the history of it and why and how that started. But it's got a very, very hippie, holistic side to it. And there's a whole nother side to Ibiza. It's very, very chalk and cheese in terms of like the difference, the polar opposites and spiritual ceremonies, shamanic ceremonies, meditations, retreats. It's got the third most magnetic point in the whole of the world, which is a rock called Esvedra. And when you're there, you can feel the force. Like, it's this electrical buzz that you feel, like, in your body when you're there. It's crazy. Also, the whole island is covered in clear quartz, too.
Oh, so you're going to... I just realised you're going to Ibiza for the ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So whereabouts are they doing that then? They're not doing it in like a wood... Like, I was imagining like some forest somewhere.
No.
You're doing it in a nightclub.
No, babes. Like I said, you're obviously not listening to anything I'm saying, are you?
No. Well, no, to be honest.
It's not just nightclubs in Ibiza. Every time I've gone, I've never even been into one nightclub. Never even saw one.
Total lie that was. You're telling me you've never been into a nightclub in Ibiza?
No.
Look me in the eye.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Every time I've gone, I've never been out. Never seen that side.
Oh, that's fair play.
Never seen that side to it. Ironically. I know.
Well, I've never been.
Well, why are you not coming to my retreat?
I ain't got no money. Well, you know, if anyone wants to buy some boxing lessons...
She gave it all away.
I gave it all away. Because everyone thought Hollywood hired me, and now no one can afford me. That's what it is. Once you reach the top of the mountain, guys, my prices go up.
That's funny. So yeah, I've got my own retreat in September. This September 1st to the 7th in a beautiful villa in Ibiza.
That's 2018, just in case anybody's listening to this in 10 years' time and gets excited.
It's 2018. Well, you don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. This is my first retreat by myself.
I think it'll be the start of something very good, actually.
I've been to Ibiza. I'm gonna be teaching every morning and every evening there is a class that you have to do. Obviously, you're not forced to if someone's sick, but for your benefit, and you're paying for the retreat, you're going to get a benefit from doing yoga every single morning and evening. So every morning I will pick what class I'm teaching you. Obviously, it will be out of a booty yoga class or a mandala class or just a vinyasa class.
And for those that don't know, I know it's kind of, most of the time you're going to get people that do know, but if they don't know what them two are...
So booty yoga, as you know, I've kind of explained it a little bit. It's a fusion of power yoga, tribal dance movement and plyometrics. Very powerful practice. Strong practice. Very healing practice. Then you have vinyasa flow class, which most people I think would know what a vinyasa flow class is. A mandala vinyasa class is the same as a vinyasa class. Instead, you just move around the mat 360 degrees. Right. So vinyasa is usually vinyasa means you're linking postures. There's more of a flow into the class.
Right, okay.
There's still strength in a vinyasa class because you always do the chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then push back down to downward dog.
Right.
There's always going to be strength challenges within a vinyasa class, of course. But yeah, mandala is when you travel around the mat. Usually when I teach mandala, I teach it on a specific element, depending on when I look at the Mayan calendar, I see what day it falls on. So today could be, actually let's see what today is. Let's actually see what today is. Today is an Earth Day.
Oh.
No, it's not. It's a fire day.
No,
it's not. It's a water day. Sorry.
Make your mind up.
It's a water day. You know why? Because the colours. Red is water. White is earth.
Ah, okay.
Blue is air. Yellow is fire. So it gets a bit confusing.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't think about that, did they?
No. So, yeah. Water day.
And also...
So if I did water, example today, I would work on hips and groin. Because water is fluid, it's all about going with the flow, connecting your emotions more. Where do we hold most of our emotions? In our hips. You know.
That's the chakra.
Chakras from the base all the way to the top.
Is that not like...
I can connect to the specific chakra, would be your second chakra, Svadhisthana,
okay.
which is the element of water as well. Because each chakra also, you can connect to an element.
Linked.
So water, yeah, sexual organs, all around that. That's again to do with your patterns, addictions. Yeah.
And is it going to be open for beginners and things?
It's for all levels. Literally all levels. I'm so used to now teaching literally all levels. In most of my classes, I have people that...
Mixture.
Not really done much, to people that have practice and experience yogis.
Yeah, I mean, I was next to someone that was quite clearly experienced on Friday. Because she was jumping into the...
yes.
And I was like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Well, I was there like... you know, I can't actually, even sit cross-legged.
Hilarious. Yeah. So, excuse me.
But I would just like to say from that more of a beginner's point of view, I've never felt in your classes that, this is too... You don't teach like that, which is great.
I try to incorporate my classes that a beginner does not feel threatened and experienced yogi doesn't feel held back.
Yeah, perfect.
I try to do that as much as I can in my classes. And I say to any beginner, if I'm doing stuff that you're like, what the hell? You just stay where you are.
Yeah.
Your practice will evolve. You know, I feel that sometimes, a beginner's class is great. A little workshop on beginners is great. even a booty yoga basics workshop is great. Talk about alignment, just so you kind of are starting to get more body awareness of how you should be holding yourself. Great. But you know what? There is nothing stopping you from then going to a class that has got more experienced yogis in it. Just because you can't do everything doesn't mean, again, it's all about how hard you are on yourself. Yeah. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. Do something that's going to challenge you. You're probably going to gain more benefits from doing that than staying in a beginner's yoga class and then going to that frequently. You're not really going to get pushed to take yourself out of your comfort zone. Yeah, I
agree completely. I mean, that's a thing for life, really, isn't it? Don't stay where. Be a bit more daring.
So yeah, and then also I'm doing another, which is my third one with the Yoga Fit family. The reason I actually went over to Ibiza was because I got invited by them to teach at their retreat, which is a little bit different because my retreat is in a villa. It's intimate. I'm holding a space, just me, and teaching every day, and holding that space for everyone.
Just one question on that, just in case people are. So do you have to book the whole retreat, or can you come for a few days?
No, whole retreat.
Whole retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't just come
so
for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole
all or
retreat.
Nothing, guys.
So yeah, it is all or nothing. So you get the benefit. I mean, it's 7 days, but it's not really 7 days because the first day you arrive, welcome, blah blah blah. Second day, first practice. Third, fourth, fifth. I
mean, genuinely, I would like to make it. So, if anybody wants to pay me for a package or another film job, wants to get in touch.
Because Rosie wants to come to the retreat.
I want to go to Sara's retreat.
Thanks. So then it only really works out as 5 full days of yoga because then the first and the 7th is arriving and leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So think about it. It's 5 days.
Yeah.
Of yoga every day.
And how much is it?
So it's not just one price.
Right, okay. So and what's the website they need to go to?
sarafakih.com.
That's spelled SARAFAKIH. I don't know why I struggle to actually think of that. I know how to spell your name, but
yeah, why did you?
I was like,
it's in euros, but it starts from 1,199.
Okay.
And it can go up to 1,750. But that's euros.
But it is worth it, people.
That's euros. I mean, everything's included. The food, everything. Everything's included.
The flights?
Flights are not included.
Okay.
So, airport transfers, the accommodation, all the yoga classes, all the food, afternoon teas and healthy snacks. We also do an excursion to one of the hippie markets, and we do a sound meditation and gong bath, as well as a hike to Esvedra and do a meditation with them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I so want to come.
See?
If anybody wants to pay, it's rosemacboxing.com.
Hilarious. Go and book her.
Yeah.
So she can come.
And then also you'll be able to, learn how to box. So, and then you can get some,
Zen
with Sara.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, dream team.
Dream team.
Dream team. Well,
but the second retreat again is Yoga Fit in Ibiza, which again is amazing. Very different though because it's a bigger retreat. So imagine 300 people being there. So it's a whole resort that's taken over, and you get a choice of loads of different classes every day.
Okay.
Rather than just it's not just one person holding a space, and it's not intimate. Very different. So they're both very different, but both amazing. I think I'll be teaching in October, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be teaching in April as well, and just continuing to teach with them, because even me as an instructor going and teacher, it was nice that I could then go and do other classes. And then have some of my students there come and do my classes, come and try some different things. And that is, again, you can book you can get a discount using my code, which is YogaFit Sara Fakih, and get 5% discount.
And that's all on your website as well?
Everything's on my website.
So every
under my yoga
is
retreat.
linked. on Sara's website.
Yes.
I'm quite professional at this, aren't I?
Yes.
Linking websites.
I know, you are good.
Yeah, apart from the cramp and stuff.
It's fine, and you're coughing.
And having got asthma, guys. So I need yoga.
Yeah, you've not been in a while. Friday.
I came Friday.
I know.
That wasn't a while then, was it?
But before that, you hadn't been in a while.
I
One class is not really that much.
Guys. Book my classes. No, you're right, I hadn't. I've been you know why? Because it clashes with teaching all the time.
I know. Well, it's the story of an instructor's life.
It is.
We never really get to do
all those peak times.
Other classes.
No.
That's why it is so important that we are disciplined. But it's so easy for us to fall off that bandwagon because we can get so exhausted.
Completely. I'm quite good actually, this morning I train, but normally I'll do a lunchtime. I'll always get one in because I just think I need it for myself.
No, we do.
And also, you've got to practice what you preach ultimately.
You have to. But then also not beat yourself up if you don't manage
to do
it as much as you would like.
Yeah, I think you're the same as me. Some people are very set, they're very regimental about this is what I'm going to do on this day. Whereas I'm actually, each week is very different. It's how I feel.
It is.
I'll train, but I'll train how I feel. I'll work to what I feel. So if I feel I'm going to go for an intense class, I'll do that. If I want to go for a bit of a steadier one. So I will still listen to my body because I think that's important. I
agree with that. My whole style of training has changed so much. I used to beast myself constantly.
So I injured my back.
And that's how I injured my back.
There you go.
And that's also how I got into yoga a little bit more. To just bring that connection back.
Yeah, just listening, like you say, breathing and listening to your...
But doing all my trainings that I have done has highlighted the fact that it is important just to listen to your body. Even people with a yoga practice push themselves too hard, too fast, and then are too yang, as they call it, too wanting to just do yang practice. And then what happens? You start to injure yourself more because you're not listening to your body.
I love yin yoga.
That is my magic and my go-to.
It's my favourite.
For me, vinyasa, or mandala vinyasa, just let's see them as the same thing, or rocket even.
Yeah.
Booty and yin are my go-tos.
You told me to go to yin, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the most healing practices. Well,
that's on a Thursday,
I didn't explain actually in my retreats that we do yin every single evening.
Oh, that's very good to know.
So we do a strong practice in the morning, yin every evening.
That's going to be very good. Physically and emotionally.
Yes. I'm a bit jealous. I need that in my life. I'm going to try and do this I'm going to try and practice as much as I can when I go to Ibiza, actually.
Yeah.
Just self-practice. Because when you're here, when you're in London, and you're getting home at 11 p.m. at night from training... From teaching, not training.
Early starts, late finishes.
And then you have another class in the morning. The in between, it's the last thing you want to do is go to a class, or you have work to do and you need to use that time to do your work. It's hard. Being in London is, I'm not going to lie, it's very hard to get that work-life balance.
I agree with that.
Which is also why I'm going away.
Because obviously me and you have both got to go and teach.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to wrap this up with? You can do a rap if you want.
Definitely not going to do a rap.
I'll do a beatbox. Boom chicka boom chicka.
Go to my retreat, sarafakih.com.
sarafakih.com. Boom.
Peace out.
Well, I think that's the most serious conversation we've ever had.
I think it is. It was a bit too serious.
Yeah.
I've never had a serious conversation with you.
Did it for an hour and 25 minutes.
Shut up. Is that how long it's been? Are you being serious?
So I was like, I think we should wrap this shit up. I'm getting bored.
Oh my god.
I'm joking, guys.
We could have actually
I got bored way before then.
Oh my god, charming.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to this podcast that has no name. I'm just going to call it the Sara Fakih. No, Sara Fakih. So.
How are you going to spell that?
Sarafakih.
I
was on the roll. I was like, I've got this, but no. Sarafakih. It's actually really hard to say fast. Do it.
Sarafakih.
Oh, it's because it's her name. Do mine then. Go.
No.
Yeah, exactly. You could have just done Rose Mac. It would have been really easy.
Oh yeah, I should have.
Or MSC.
I didn't even think about that.
That boom. Mac to the Fakih. Alright, thanks for listening. If you are.
If you are.
If you didn't,
if not,
you rude.
Don't worry.
She said don't worry, and I said you rude. It's like
don't
yin yang.
worry. Be happy.
On that note. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.